Welcome to Whaler Talk, hosted by the Hartford Whalers Booster Club. I'm Jerry Irwin with Peter Hindle from theexaminer.com. And tonight we have two special guests from Global Spectrum. They're going to tell us all about the new endeavor they're branching out on, coming to Hartford to operate the Excel Center. Pete?
Yeah, we got two great guests tonight. We're talking about, even though the season just ended, we're talking about a new season coming up. And we have Chris Lawrence, who's going to be the new general manager of the Excel Center. And we have Ilka Cordesloma, who's going to be the new director of sales for Global Spectrum. So, there's some exciting stuff coming up. I mean, we're still in the early stages of you guys. I think, is it August 1st when the contract actually takes place for Global Spectrum?
Well, we're managing Rentschler Field as well.
Oh, that's
so
right.
That's scheduled for July 1 for a transition date, and then right now August 30th for the Excel Center.
Oh, okay, August 30th for the Excel Center. Okay, and that'll be just about time we'll be starting talking about Hartford hockey coming up.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
Moving into the next phase of the hockey club and what you guys envision as the future, because you're here for what, 10 years?
Our agreement is 10 years.
Yeah. So
right now.
You have quite a commitment involved here.
Yeah. Why don't we start off with why don't you, if you don't mind, taking a minute or two and just tell us a little bit about what you've been doing in the past and how you got to here on Whaler Talk.
Sure. I was born and raised in the Philadelphia area. Grew up through high school and then traveled a little bit, playing some junior hockey out in Iowa and Pittsburgh, and ended up at Michigan State University, where I graduated in 2007, and played 4 years with the Spartans out there and had some good success, and then ended up moving back home, did a little sales stuff here and there as an entry-level gig, and then got into Comcast Spectacor, the sports and entertainment firm, into a couple different ventures, working for the nonprofit youth hockey organization that Mr. Snyder, Ed Snyder, started. So with my hockey background, was able to transition in there and kind of develop some inner city kids, giving them the opportunity to play hockey, but also teach life skills at the same time. So a real rewarding position. And I was fortunate enough to work with some of the senior management at Comcast Spectacor in that role. Got to know my personality a little bit, and they kind of guided me into the facility management aspect of our industry that I didn't even know existed. So I worked down there for about a year and a half in Philly, managed a lot of the Flyer games. I was fortunate enough to be there for their run in 2010 through the Cup Finals.
Yeah, I remember that.
And overseeing a lot of concerts, working day to day for the general manager there. And then about 2.5 years ago, was transitioned up to Glens Falls, New York, at the Glens Falls Civic Center, under one of our Global Spectrum managed accounts. It's an AHL tenant, the Adirondack Phantoms there.
2010, yeah, when you got that?
I got there in the middle of the season, December of 2010. So was up there, and then just past week, made the move here to Hartford, and we're excited about the opportunity to not only manage Excel Center, but Rentschler Field, but also obviously the Hartford hockey team that we have going into the building.
Now, it must have been a lot of fun going into 2010, where you had the Flyers in that run with the excitement in the building.
You know what? It was fun, but it was also a little bittersweet. I was there and responsible, and I remember going through and having league meetings with the league because there's a lot of pre-work. And it was Game 6 in Chicago. They ended up winning.
Worst ending, but
Well, before the game, having meetings with the league offices and setting up. If the Hawks win, what are they going to do? And as a diehard Flyers fan, and working there, it was kind of like I had to wear two hats, and it was a little frustrating. But actually, their assistant coach, Mike Havland, was one of my youth hockey coaches. So I got to go on the ice in my job. But he was a big influence in me growing up. So it was kind of that was a nice aspect of it. Other than that, it was a little tough.
Bittersweet for us too, because Joe Quinville was the coach of the Blackhawks. So he was a former Whaler, and we really liked him. But Ilka, what about you? What's your past experience that brought you to this
Sure. So I was born and raised in Finland, and moved here in the U.S. about 7 years ago. So did all my studying, all my college in Finland. I actually studied abroad here in the U.S. at Upper Peninsula, Michigan, in a smaller school for a year, and worked in sports in Finland for a team setting. Then I also worked for a sports agency. Met my American wife in Finland in high school, and moved here about 7 years ago. So I started with Comcast Spectacor with the Philadelphia Phantoms, the American Hockey League team. In a sales role, that was in 2008. That was Phantoms' last year in Philadelphia. So got transitioned to the Flyers side, similar role, a little bit more responsibility. And I've been with the Flyers in Philadelphia for the last 4.5 years. And obviously, I met Chris there too. We worked together. Obviously, I was more on the sales side. He was on the event side, but worked together a lot, and a lot of great events there. Winter Classic, we were part of the one in Boston, one in Philly, and a lot of sold out events. You know, it's a great organization, great team to work for, and now I'm here. Been here since last Sunday, and excited for this opportunity.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You play some hockey too, or?
Yeah, I did. I think every kid in Finland plays hockey.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I wanted to hear the hockey story.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Yeah.
I grew up in a pretty small town, so a lot of town rinks, a lot of outdoor hockey. You know, played in the team for 14 years and played my last year at Finland University in Upper Peninsula, Michigan. And I still skate. You know, it's fun.
Yeah.
You know, keeps me in shape. And we had a good thing going on in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
We played a little morning hockey before we started working.
That's cool.
So,
Yeah.
it's a great sport. Love it.
Oh yeah.
That's great. Well, going into Chris, going from the Flyers down to or out to Glens Falls. What was the biggest change? You know, when you saw you're going to a smaller facility now, a smaller market.
Yeah. Obviously.
Yeah, and what was because you're moving now to another AHL building, and when you go in, what do you look at? What's some of the things you're going to look at?
Well, there we were fortunate that we had run the building for 2.5 years prior to that.
Okay.
So it was another opportunity for someone to come in. My predecessor there, he moved on to another one of our Global Spectrum accounts out in Abbotsford, British Columbia, where the Heat play.
Right.
So that was an opportunity for him to grow. It was a new account for us, and he transitioned out there, and I filled his position. So it was just not messing things up at that point. He had got things started for it, and then putting on your own little touch from the facility side of things, working with the client and the team. The team there is operated and owned separately than the building operators.
Oh, okay.
So they were a primary tenant in the building, and we worked hand in hand with them as a partner. And obviously, with 37, 38 games a year and nights a year, that they're the main attraction in town. So it was our responsibility to cater them and make sure that they're getting everything they need from the building side. But then coming in and managing a staff and having all those responsibilities of other events, family shows, concerts, working with the city of Glens Falls. Those were things that were new to me, but that our company does a great job of supporting people and putting them in positions to be successful and kind of giving them the keys to utilize their resources. So if you do that, the model is set, and it was
Just follow
not
the-
easy, but it was
follow the roadmap.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's cool.
Right. And as it translates now, I mean, you're going into an arena that's almost 3 times the capacity of what Glens Falls with. Do you see, what kind of challenges do you see, and do you have to ramp yourself up to handle a bigger staff, I mean, how's your transition looking?
Yeah.
As you vision it.
Yep. No, it's certainly going to be a challenge, but I think it's one that we're extremely excited about as a company. Not just the stadium, but the field as well.
Oh, sure.
And then having the hockey team, having the opportunity to manage them as well. And for myself to be able to oversee kind of all 3 of that it's an exciting position. It's one that I couldn't wait to get started with. When I first got the phone call, it was obviously a no-brainer for me to be involved with. And it starts at the top with our company. It's Peter Luco, John Page, the CEOs of both Comcast Spectacor and Global. They're hockey guys. They played hockey. John was a football guy, but now his sons play youth hockey. Peter has a son that plays Division I college hockey. So the hockey passion, and you can hear Ilka and myself as well. We're both hockey guys. Having that opportunity to work in a hockey market with the history that Hartford has, we're really looking forward to it.
Right. And that ties into my next question, which is huge. Now, this is very speculative. I don't want you to get nervous, but Hartford is a unique city in the terms of the WHA, the World Hockey Association League. They had an all-star game here.
Yeah.
They had the NHL all-star game.
Right.
We've never had an AHL all-star game.
Yeah.
So if you guys were able to bring the AHL all-star, you'd be famous, because it'd be the only city in the world that's had all 3 all-star games.
And we were on the radar a couple of years ago.
Yeah, we were trying
but again,
to get it, but
it just didn't come.
It might be a little bit of a. I mean, it's not something immediately, but maybe down the road, it's something.
Yeah.
It's a possibility, to bring that in, and then we could, you could market it that way.
Yeah.
Or something
No,
that's,
and I think the way our company is run is, it starts with Peter and John up top, like I mentioned, very entrepreneurial.
Yeah.
They really give us the keys to do what we feel is best and creative, and utilize everything that we have from a corporate standpoint. But the individuals who are in the building, so myself and Ilka and the rest of our team that we're going to assemble, it's up to us to figure out what's the best way to utilize the market, the building, and if that opportunity presented itself and it made sense for us, it's certainly something we would look at, and then we would do our best to to market and utilize it, and all the assets that come on board with that and the publicity. I think it would be a great event.
Right, and there's a lot of ties too, because like as you mentioned, the outreach you'd done in Philadelphia, the inner city kids, they were doing that here with the hockey team, doing a street hockey program, that type of thing. So I mean, I'm sure it's all translatable to any market you go to, but I mean, from that standpoint, you guys would probably be just as fine with all the avenues you have and reaching out to different areas within Hartford, and then having Rentschler Field is a whole nother. So you're doing a lot of things with probably UConn. You've got football, UConn hockey, those type of things will come into play. So there's a lot to think about, and we're just in the early stages. So, but nothing.
Well, they just got here.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's true. So yeah, we got a lot. There's a lot to talk about. But
Listen, we still have 20 minutes.
Yeah, I know.
You're killing them. The other question I have is now stepping into the XL Center. AEG, the previous operators or the current operators until you guys take over. Do you guys look at the employees that are currently there as potential employees for you guys? Is that part of the, I guess, the transition?
Yeah. No, it's exactly right. It's a transition process, and that stuff. I don't want to get into it too much, but that goes through the proper HR channels and everything there, and if there's people on board there that want to come on board with us and make sense. I think we're open to all that stuff, but we kind of let the people above my pay grade.
Oh yeah. No, I'm just thinking, you guys are stepping into a building. These people work for that company. Can they transition or get hired by you into this?
Yes, they can.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. We're not opposed to that by any stretch. I think it would be beneficial and helpful for us to absorb as many as possible. We'll see where it goes from there.
You guys, are you involved at all? Because we know that Global's going to bring Ovations, their own concession company.
Correct.
Do you guys have any involvement with that? Because the only reason I ask is the biggest complaint in Hartford is the $9 beer. But I didn't know if there's anything.
That's not just Hartford. It's
everywhere.
It's every building you go to, and it's supply demand, and it's the whole market. But yes, I mean, ultimately in my position, our other three companies, New Era Tickets, Front Row Marketing, and Ovations Food Services. We'll all have individual deals with Global Spectrum, who then reports directly to CRDA.
Okay.
So as the general manager there, ultimately all that falls under my shelf as well. But we have a great relationship with them. They operate independently, but we're all on the same page, and we know what's best for. It's our job to find out what's best and what the customers are looking for, and figuring all that stuff out. So yes, we'll be heavily involved with them.
And Ilka, what is on your front in the next couple of weeks to months? As director of sales, what exactly tasks do you have coming?
Right. So obviously there's a lot on our plate right now, but the most important thing is to get in touch with existing season ticket holders, partial fund holders, and flex package holders. And we actually sent out an intro email last week. I thought it was pretty well received. I've gotten feedback, both positive and constructive, and talked to some of the fans already and emailed everybody. And so I think as far as timeline go, obviously getting in front of the season ticket holder is #1 priority. Introduce our new benefits, introduce our staff, put staff together, which we're going to have set up here in the next couple of weeks. And as soon as we are fully established and have everything ready to go, obviously we would love to have some sort of maybe a town hall meeting setting, and invite fans to come over and listen to their opinions and feedback, and really see what they have to say, and we can kind of let them know what our vision is going to be, and obviously what we like to see happen when they come to the building. But we're fully committed, we're really excited, and one thing that we put above everything else is obviously the fan experience. So when they come into the building, that from the moment they walk in, they know they're in a sporting event, and it's Hartford hockey, and these are our teams. So we're looking forward to it.
That sounds very good.
No, it does. It sounds very exciting. It sounds like you guys have hit the ground running, really.
Yeah.
I don't know how much sleep you guys got, but it is. It's you look at what's happened over the couple of years of Hartford hockey. It's been up and down, and I think the market and the people are looking for a little stability, to kind of figure out where they have to sit. What do you, promotion-wise, I don't know if you can go into it, but what's worked in the past for like Glens Falls? When you walked in there, did you already have existing promotions that you did, or did you put your little touch to it?
Well, there, like I said, it's a little different in that they have their own separate entity who operates and runs the team. We're just doing strictly the facility.
Oh, okay.
But our company as a whole, obviously, we've had tremendous amount of success in the AHL when we had and owned and run the Phantoms when the Spectrum was there, but also in a bigger picture, the Flyers.
Oh, absolutely.
And having those resources available to us, we have pretty much everyone on their staff at our disposal. They've been great to work with, and that's our model. That's our goal, is to come in and run this like a professionally run hockey team, which it is, and model it after our successes that we've had with the Flyers. Certainly, there's some different nuances with Philadelphia versus Hartford, and when we'll cater to those. But our goal and mission is to come in and make this as professional an approach as we can. And like Ilka mentioned, the customer and the fan experience is really what it's all about for us. It is a fresh start for us, and that's the way we're approaching this. And we're hoping that the community is going to embrace it that way. And certainly, there's a proud history here in Hartford. And I think we'd be naive and foolish not to embrace that. But we certainly want to come in with our own little touch, and I hope people are open to that and they'll appreciate that. And our goal is to make it an enjoyable, family-friendly, environment to come and enjoy Hartford hockey, and do it at a reasonable price, but also get some value and have it be a safe, fun place for people to come watch a sport.
And it's over the years we've Peter and myself, you go to the games, and the biggest thing is you can see that whether it was the Connecticut Whale or the Wolfpack, the kids. You're now bringing up kids, whether it's whatever hockey team you like, as a fan, and you can see the families coming in, and that's that to me as a father. My kids are older now, but that's what we used to do. You bring the kids' birthday parties and all that. And by the time you're done, you're like, oh my God. But it's fun to see the families and enjoy it as a family event, because you don't see that much anymore. Everyone's on the computer. They're doing other things, and to see them together is really a good time. And I think over the years, both the Connecticut Whale, the Wolfpack, have done a good job with the fan experience with the families. Especially.
And then, as you said, Ilka said, having a town hall meeting is something that fans will probably be all over, because they, in the previous administration, they didn't have any town hall meetings or that much fan interaction. So might get a little venting, but they'll be glad that somebody's listening. That, and as you mentioned with the history, Philadelphia and Hartford have this kind of a little bit of a hockey history. Mark Howe was traded to the Flyers. The long pants, the only NHL team with long pants.
Exactly. The Cooperalls.
Howard Baldwin got his first job for Ed Snyder. So that's kind of the Hartford Philly thing. It's a nice connection. It feels, what I'm saying, it's right in the sweet spot. So that's good.
Plus, you do the town hall meeting, you're accepting people into your house. That's what it seems. That's what I get out of it. When you said a town hall meeting, the first thing I thought is, hey, you open the doors, let the people come in, and talk about what they envision as Hartford hockey or what their experience should be.
And we're looking at all the feedback, whether it's positive or constructive. I mean, it shows that there's passion, and that's what it reminds me a lot of Philadelphia in that sense, because I've been with the Flyers for a long time, and been talking to fans on the phones, and heard the bad things, heard the good things, but it's to me whether it's good or constructive feedback, it's all positive at the end of the day, because it shows that this person truly cares about the sport. They truly care about their team. They truly care about their town. And I love talking to them. Because I'm a hockey fan at the end of the day myself. Whether I work for different teams, I watch hockey when I go home, and it's all fun. It's part of being a fan. So
that's true. It's passion. They sound like
passion. Passion is the word. I was thinking the same thing. It's all about passion.
It is about passion.
You get caught up with the excitement, whether it's a playoff game or even a regular season game that goes into overtime. It's fun. You watch hockey now, and it's totally different than it was when we were growing up watching hockey. You watch some of the older games that they put on ESPN Classic or one of those, and you're like, wow, look, there's no writing on the boards. The guys are, they don't have the toque blades. They have they have just the blade, and you're like, God, more people could have been killed with that. But you sit there and you watch, and hockey's just evolved so much. And then when they took out the two-line pass, it's a faster game. It's like my buddy who's down in North Carolina, is NASCAR on skates. It's just like boom, go, and hockey's embraced that, and I think they've done a nice job, kind of keeping a safety involved too, as fast as it is these days.
And I think you brought up a good point earlier about the youth and really capitalizing on the youth markets here, and that's certainly going to be a big focus of Ilka and his team. But as we continue to grow this, you look at the state of Connecticut right now. I grew up in Philadelphia playing a pretty high level travel hockey, and I was up in the New England area all the time, so driving through Connecticut and playing and stopping. But you look at the success of even this year, obviously, Quinnipiac, Yale, from a college standpoint.
We were stacked. Yeah.
And a lot of the high school and prep schools that are in the market, and the youth hockey teams. I mean, there's a plethora of arenas. So I think Connecticut as a hockey market, and Hartford as a hockey market specifically, I think that was one of the things that was so exciting for us and our senior management team as we went through the process, is that we really do believe in Hartford as a hockey market, and we feel like it's an opportunity to come in and make an impact. I can't speak for what MSG and what Howard's group did and what AEG did. Certainly great companies and great organizations, and I'm sure they gave it everything they could. But we're really committed to this all the way from the top down, and I hope people recognize that and can approach that and appreciate that from the get-go. As they come in with a kind of a fresh start, that we're behind this 100%. And Ilka can speak to it too.
It's great because a couple of years ago they had the Outdoor Fest here, and it was a great thing for them to do that.
Right.
But it also introduced the college hockey into that, which now we're getting into UConn in what, next year, right? UConn's going to Hockey East. So now you've introduced our community to the college hockey, and you guys are now going to take over with UConn hockey coming in. Right?
Yeah, they start
it's 2014.
Hockey East. They start next fall, so not this fall coming up, but the following fall.
So you get a year to prepare for that.
Yeah, but I think it's a good opportunity, from a marketing standpoint, to be able to help them out, get going, and if the hockey team,
if they do well,
can capitalize. Yeah, obviously.
If they do well, they'll start to capitalize. So another thing, if you guys both spoke to Frank, what has he told you about this market? Have you had a chance to sit down with him? Has he told you, hey, watch out for this or take a look at this?
No, he's been a great resource. We were actually just talking about this earlier today.
Frank Russo, by the way. Just so the audience
knows. Oh, okay.
Frank Russo, he's a senior vice president at Global?
Yeah, he handles a lot of our business development and client relations, so responsible for obtaining and kind of maintaining new accounts. And certainly it's a great asset for us to have here locally, to have somebody who knows the market as well as he does, knows the building as well as he does.
Yeah, he does,
and he's been a great resource.
It hasn't changed much.
Yeah, I know, it really hasn't changed much, but
He's been a great resource for us, and he's very, very well respected in the community.
Oh, absolutely.
And, I think he's going to be a great asset to us as we continue to really get going here. Like I said, we've only been here a week, but he's definitely knows, pointing us in the right direction and getting us in contact with the appropriate people and setting up just even meetings or conversations, and being able to bridge that initial contact has been helpful.
And he does. He has I've talked to him a couple times, and he sounds like he still has a pulse on our community.
Passionate about it too. I mean, just like Peter and John. I mean, it's just he really cares about it. You can tell just his interest level and a lot of things. I think certainly with the geographical location, but with his background, and I think this is his baby. He's really into this one, and we're excited to be here with him.
That's cool.
I envision, I sit there and watch the hockey from the past, and everyone's done their part to keep hockey alive in Hartford since the Whalers left.
Yeah.
This feels like you guys have your canvas up, and you're going to paint your own picture. What do you envision if you're looking down the road? What do you see as a high point, if for lack of a better term, down the road, 2 or 3 years, something that might stick out?
Yeah, I think from the hockey, I'll let Ilka talk about the business side of it a little bit. We'll have another representative, Adam Goldberg, who will be handling a lot of the business development side of things from a promotional standpoint, and really it'll be Adam and Ilka that are really driving things from a team standpoint. But the team itself is kind of out of our control. We're certainly support, and we'll work closely with them to allow them to be as successful as possible, because I mean, let's be honest, the best marketing approach is winning.
Oh, absolutely.
So that certainly is something, and anything we can do to assist them from a hockey operational standpoint, we're on board with. And MSG has been great to work with so far in the conversations that we've had.
That's good.
And I think from a sales standpoint, Ilka has some goals, but it's just really creating a fresh approach. Not starting anew, but with Global coming in and us having our ideas and concepts and how we think we're going to play out, but also absorbing some of the history and getting a feel for what is important to people and what also is going to be successful. Ultimately, this is Hartford's team, and we want to market it that way and showcase it. And I'll let Ilka talk about some of his goals from a sales standpoint.
Yeah, I mean, I think what I would love to see is whether you're a Bruins fan or a Rangers fan or Flyers fan or Whalers fan or whatever, Major League sport team is, you're a fan of, that everyone that is local, that they come together and support Hartford hockey. That's, I think, my #1 goal in the beginning, and to be obvious, to be able to, retain our existing season ticket base, and obviously start growing that. Really get involved with the community, really get involved with different groups, youth groups, different companies in the area. And I would love to see, there's a lot of seats in the lower level alone. I would love to see us consistently, fill the lower bowl and then start filling the second level. And, that's my goal. I've seen the, where, this team has fallen in the ranking as far as attendance goes. And, my responsibility is really getting out there and, together with Adam, create different promotions and different things that we can attract people to come into the building, and hopefully when they come once, they want to come more and more and more. And that's what I like to see happening. Absolutely.
Yeah, when you go to the game and you see that whole lower bowl filled up, it really gives you a sense that people are coming to the games.
Right.
If you have the scattered seating, you kind of get a little disheartened. The couple games I saw where they gave you promotions, you started to see those upper levels being filled up, and it was nice to see the building filled up. And once you get the energy in there, obviously the team's going to react to that.
Yep.
They have a full, or say 10,000 people. Those guys love that stuff. That's what you're out. Look, you played at Michigan State. It's not like you had a small arena, but you guys did pretty good.
It is, and I think that helps from the team standpoint. Ilka and I both played pretty high level hockey, and from a player standpoint, that's cool. You live for that, to be able to come to the arena every day, and the place is going to be rocking, and
the energy.
And it is. It really it gets you going and motivates you. It can be difficult, and the end of January, middle of February, and you're showing up to a few thousand people, and you don't know what's going to be like on Sunday afternoon. And it's our goal to assist them any way we can. We can't go out there and play, and you don't want me to. Trust me.
Well, I tell you, you guys, it's great, and thank you so much for coming on, because it's been fun sitting around, for a half hour, seeing how you guys are going to take the approach. And welcome to Hartford. We wish you the very best.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I hope they come back again. We didn't scare them away, but we'll check you next time on Whaler Talk.